educational achievements and research, newly inventions, etc.? Or is there not a need there?
To answer that, I think what we first need to do is look at what the purpose of a maktab is and what's its aim, what's its goals, what's the purpose of a madrasa. So if we say, for instance, for the young children, it's the means to understand the Arabic alphabet, to be able to then recite the Quran, to be able to recite with the rules of tajweed, to be able to do all those things, then the aim or the goal is not going to change. So I think the goal is going to be the same. How they can achieve that, well, we're already seeing over the last couple of decades, the books which have come out, the resources which have come out, the use of apps, the use of other electronic devices to be able to teach rules of tajweed. In fact, we're inundated, so technology is being used and harnessed in order to improve the ways in which we deliver. So the aim must stay the same for a young person, for a young child to be able to recite the letters of the Quran and also be able to then eventually recite the Quran, but the methods that are being used and the resources which are being used have changed. So they're being accepted wholeheartedly and utilized because, I just want to emphasize the point that Islam and traditional scholars have no problem at all with technology as such. It's used as a resource in order to achieve the goals. So the goals haven't changed, but the ways in which those goals are achieved.
Some would say that's not true, as a lot of madrasas, a lot of maktabs will not accept change, will not embrace the new technology, the new apps, the smart boards, the tablets, the color-coded sort of tajweed rules and books. They prefer the old way, old school. How do you feel as a mufti and an imam and a scholar and somebody from a secular and a religious background in terms of that?
The answer, to be honest, is quite simple. We have a choice to choose whichever education establishment we want to send our children to. So in essence, we vote with our feet. If we're not happy with the quality of education that a particular institute is providing, then it's quite simple. We don't send our children there. We send our children somewhere else until eventually the message gets to the individuals who are running that institute. Hold on a second here, things aren't necessarily working right here because, where's everybody going? We've only got 3 students left or 4 students. And then hopefully there'll be impetus for change. Again, I know you like this, but it's the carrot and stick. What's the motivation for this madrasa? What's the motivation for this maktab? What's the motivation for this masjid to change its ways? Well, there has to be a carrot and stick. If there's nothing being offered, then they're not going to change their way. But the stick approach is that they'll lose students. Students will find better institutes to send their children to, or rather parents will find better institutes to send their children to, until eventually this institute sat with 3 or 4 students suddenly realize, hold on a second here, I think we need to change. So yes, there will be that change. The community will dictate that change.
Okay. I like the analogy. Not the carrot and stick one, but we vote with our feet. Democracy. That aside, is there too many Maulanas and Imams and graduates and people coming out with PhDs, BA?